Well, back to the rescue house, and we are in the media room. And since the day one, we've noticed a really odd problem where the room, the tray ceiling, or pan ceiling is really what it is uneven, out of square, up and down, all covered in sheetrock, so we couldn't see the framing. And then today we decided we had to pull out a corner to find out what's going on with it, because we're concerned about a big hump in the ceiling we're trying to fix, and we needed to figure out why the hump was in the ceiling. And that hump was down in this lower corner right here. So once we got up here, we found the problem. If you look close, you can see that the previous contractor, when he did his work, he cut the ceiling joist loose and never reattached them. None of these ceiling joists, and I'm talking about these right here, none of them are nailed or attached. Now these ceiling joists that aren't nailed and attached span this entire ceiling. They go from this point, you can see the shadow behind it, the back big gap right there. They span from there all the way across to a 2x8 that is on top of this drywall. The 2x8 that is right there. That's a 2x8 band, and that 2x8 band goes all the way around this pan, all the way here, goes all the way down here, and ends up right there. So that 2x8 goes all the way across, goes all the way across this room, and the other end of it is right here. That's the other end of it. Now, that is about 28 feet. That's how far that thing is spanning. 28 feet. There's probably a break in it somewhere. It's probably what has that big sag. We just can't see it yet. And so then they took the ceiling rafters, or ceiling joists, I should say. That's these. And they went all the way across and they nailed them to the end of that 2x8 I just showed you. The problem is, that's carrying all the weight of this entire ceiling. It's carrying the entire weight of the ceiling, everything. Sheetrock, all the framing, all these lookouts, everything. It's carrying it. And think about this. Right here, it's not connected. It's not connected on this side, and it goes all the way over and it's connected to that 2x8 that's right here. Right there. Okay, so the reason we have this brace right here in the middle of the room is because, I'm not sure how well you can tell from the video, I can tell, but from the wall to the outside there is about a 1-inch drop where this ceiling has started sagging. From this point about center of the room to here is about 1.5 inch drop. From here to here is almost level. Now if you really look at it from way back here, you can see it. You can see the difference in that reveal above that metal edging. The same thing applies if you look at it from this direction. So from this direction, from this corner to this corner, it drops almost 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. Well, the reason for that, one reason, is because when the new contractor came in and remodeled this, they neglected to tie those ceiling joists back in. You can see this has probably over a 2-inch gap between the plate and that joist. That joist goes all the way across and ties in to that 2x8 I showed you earlier. That's carrying the entire ceiling. So none of these joists are connected on this end. None of them. They're all loose and floating. The bracing is floating. All the bracing is loose. Sorry about the bad photography. I'm doing this all by myself. Nothing is tied together. All of these lookouts, these little short pieces, are loose and not nailed. You can see the end of this one. It's not nailed to anything. That's not nailed, that's loose. This one's loose. This one's loose, it moves. Everything in here has been disconnected and not properly reconnected with the new framing. They just covered it up with sheetrock and left it. So our concern initially was that it was just a cosmetic issue. We thought we were hoping that maybe we could just fix it by adjusting a few blocks. Well, when we got in here, it became obvious to us that the only way to fix it is to deconstruct this entire ceiling and reframe it. It's all we can do with it. We even found nice little things like this stuck up in here. There is so much wrong. There's so much going on up here that is wrong. I've got wires right here that are not legal. That's not legal. Shouldn't be left in an attic like that. That's from the previous contractor. At this point, I'm not even going to call him a contractor because I don't think he qualifies. It's embarrassing to see that there's anybody that does work like this. So I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to completely re-engineer it and rebuild it. That's going to be in our next video. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with this thing. From the rescue house here in Dallas, Texas. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Send me a message and let me know.